Hi guys, welcome back again to the channel. So guys, today we are making this beautiful gown, a milkmade bustier with a Queen Anne neckline. As you can see, this gown is very beautiful and I decided to make one for myself. So guys, if you're interested, continue watching and please don't skip any part of this video so you understand it better. Alright, and please go ahead and give the video a thumbs up so that others can benefit from the video as well. So this is the material I'm going to be using for the gown. I'm going to be combining my own. I have crepe material here and I have this design net and African print, so I'll be combining mine. The material does not matter. What matters is that you are able to understand how to go about it. So feel free to make use of any material of your choice. If you want it plain, go ahead and make use of a plain material and a lace, baby lace. That is what they use in making that style. But for me, I'll be combining mine. So guys, if you are new, you are highly welcome. I'm Chisom Ene. Please subscribe to join the family and turn on the notification bell for more videos. So with that being said, let's get started. We are going to start with the half length, then to the down part, okay? And I'll be drafting the front part. Afterwards, I'll use it to draft the back part. So I'm drafting on a pattern paper, not directly on the fabric. So please pay attention. It's very simple. If you like this gown like I do, pay attention and get it once and for all. So guys, I've folded this pattern paper into two. So I folded it using my hip measurement divided by 4 plus extra sewing allowance. Do you understand? So the first thing to do is to mark out a starting point here. So this is my shoulder line. Then from shoulder line, I'll take my vertical measurement as usual, which is the measurement from shoulder downwards. So from shoulder to my bust point is 10 inches, shoulder to my under bust 13, shoulder to the half length 16, and shoulder to the hip line. Shoulder to the hip line is 23. I'll be making use of 23 inches. Okay, so I'm going to rule out the lines. So guys, this is my bust point, my under bust, the half length, and the hip line. So now we have the bust point line, under bust line, half length, and the hip line. Because of the basque effect, that is why I'm taking this to the hip line, okay? And the half length here is the upper waist. So if you want your half length to be at the waistline, that's the actual navel point, then you go ahead and put it here. But for me, I want mine to be at 16 inches, which is the upper waist. Okay, so that is it for that. The next thing I'm going to do is to add my shoulder measurement, divide by 2. So on the shoulder line, I'll measure my shoulder divided by 2, which is 8 inches. My neck width for this gown is going to be 3 inches. Then I'll come down here by 1 inch to slope the shoulder and connect to the neck width to get our shoulders slanted, because our shoulders are not straight. So having done that, I'll come to the shoulder slope here and add my armhole depth, which is 8 inches. To get your armhole depth, just measure your round armhole and divide by 2, or your bust circumference divide by 6. Whatever you get, you add 1.5 inches to make up for your armhole depth. So having gotten my armhole depth, at that point I'm going to add my bust circumference measurement in order for us to get the armhole curve. So my bust circumference is 39 divided by 4 is 9.75, which is here. So I'm going to connect to that point. So the next step is to add my front armhole curve, and to do that I'll take the midpoint of the armhole depth, which is 4. 8 divided by 2, 4, and I'll go in by half an inch and make my curve. So guys, this is the front armhole, and for the back armhole I'm going to connect like this, because I will be using this pattern to cut out the back part in order to save time. Okay, so I have my back armhole and front armhole, so that is it for that. So the next step is to add my circumference measurement. That is the round measurement, bust round measurement, hip, waist round measurement, and so on and so forth. I've added my bust circumference here. All I will do is to add my sewing allowance of 1.5 inches and connect my line to that point. So having done that, the next step is to come to the under bust and add my round under bust measurement, which is 8.5. that is 34 divided by 4, 8.5. I'm going to add 1.5 inches allowance. For this particular style there is no dart, okay? So I'm going to do the same thing here at the half length, 8.5 and 1.5 inches allowance. So please go ahead and measure yours and add your measurements, okay? So coming to the hip line, I'll add my hip measurement. My hip measurement is 43 divided by 4, 10.75, which is here, plus 1.5 inches for allowance, and that is here. So I'm going to connect my point. So guys, the next step is to add my back neckline. We already have our neck width, which is 3 inches. Then for the back side, the neck depth is 1 inch. So I'm going to connect like so. So for the front neckline, I'm going to measure my neck depth to be 7 inches. You can increase or reduce it if you want. So having marked the 7 inches, I'll connect it to the armhole like this. Remember, we are making a milkmade bustier. To draft out my curve, I'm going to come to this point and measure half inch for cup separation, the same way we will do when we are drafting a corset bustier. So half inch for cup separation, and the next step is to come to the under bust here, and I'll add my bust pan, which is the distance from one bust to the other, the nipple to nipple point measurement. Mine is 7 inches divided by 2, which is 3.5, and on the bust point I'll measure the same 3.5 inches there. Okay, so I have 3.5, 3.5. The next step is to connect from this half inch here to this point with a curve. So this is what I have. So this is it for this side. So coming to this other side, what I'm going to do is from this bust pan point here that I mark here, I'm going to take the distance from the bust point to the under bust. Mine is 3 inches, and from that point I'll measure 3 inches plus half inch. The reason why I added half inch is because the bust is always fuller at this side, so that the cup will accommodate the bust very well. So at that point I'll connect back to the under bust like this. So this is what I have. So because this style has a Queen Anne neckline, I'll come over here for us to be able to get the Queen Anne neckline shape. I'll come over here and measure 1 inch, and from this 1 inch here I'll connect it to this point like so. So this is what we have. I'll connect from this neck width here down to this 1 inch here. You can do that with a straight line or with a curvy, very slighted curvy line. So the choice is yours. If you want it straight, go ahead and do that. If you want it curvy, go ahead and do that. So for me, I'm going to make a very slight curvy shape to get my Queen Anne neckline. So guys, this is what I have, and that is it for the cup. Okay, so the next step is to add my allowance here, 1/2 inch for shoulder allowance, to join the front and back together at the shoulder. So I'm going to connect. So guys, having done that, the next step is to now come to the half length and connect to the hip line for us to get the basque effect or the basque shape, as you can see on the style. So I'm going to connect from the half length to the hip line with a straight line like so. So having done that, I'm going to add a very small sewing allowance over there like so, and yeah, connect it to the sewing allowance. This is it. So this is it. We are through with the front part. I'll just cut it out. Before cutting this part, we are going to use it to cut the back part. So that is it. If you have not given this video a thumbs up, go ahead and do that before you forget, okay, so that every other person can see the video and also benefit from it as well. So guys, this is what we have. I'll use this to cut the back side before we cut the cuff area. So guys, I'm going to mark my zipper allowance. So because I'm managing this paper, I'll mark my zipper allowance to be 1.5, 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance. So guys, this is my zipper allowance. I'll place the front part on it and cut exactly what I have here. So I'll come to the half length here. This is the half length line, and I'll go in by 1/2 inch. This is to remove the zipper bulge at the back side, 1/2 inch, and I'll measure 1/2 inch over here, and I'll connect like so. So I'm going to trim this part. So guys, this is it for the back. So this arrow will indicate the center part, okay, the center part of the cup. Or you can notch that point. Let us notch that side. Okay, so this is the center part, and I'll cut the yoke. Don't leave me high and dry. Oh. So now we have the yoke, and this is the bodice. By the time I open it, this is how it looks. Okay, the same way we make the corset bustier. But the difference in this case is that instead of us making a bustier, a cup, normal corset cup, and attaching here, I'm going to use this, you know, to cut out something we are going to gather that will be here. That is why it is called a milkmade bustier. All right, so we are going to use this to cut out enough material to gather for the cups. So guys, like I said, to be able to gather this up, we are going to increase this. So, and to do that, I'm going to measure what I have here and double it. So I have 6.5 inches here, so times 2 will be 13 inches. So here I'm going to measure 13 inches and mark. This is for me. If you want, you can reduce it or increase it depending on how full you want the cup to be. Okay, so I have 13 inches, and towards this side I have 6 inches here. So I'm going to mark 6 inches plus extra 2 inches for folding allowance. You know, we are going to fold this upper part for either elastic or a loop. Okay, so I have 2 inches. So what I have is 13 by 8 inches. 13 by 8 inches. Like I said, this is for me. You can alter it, you can increase it or reduce it. So this is what I have for my gathers. So what I'm going to do is just to divide this into 2 in order for me to get the curvy part of this cup. So I'll come here and place it like so and curve this side. Can you see? And towards this side, I'm going to place it at this edge and curve this part. So that way we have the down part in a curvy shape. Do you understand? So we no longer need this one. I'll be making use of this particular one. So this is it for the front side. By the time I gather up this part and fix it here, we'll be able to get our bustier without any stress. So this is very simple. This is very simple, and it comes out very fine. So go ahead and try it out. Try it out and let me know your result in the comment section. So like I did to the other cup, I'm going to notch this side to indicate the center part. So this is the center part and this is the side part. Okay, so that is it for the drafting of the front part. This is the yoke, the Queen Anne neckline. So I'm going to trim this side. I've trimmed the armhole for this yoke, so here I'm going to trim here as well. So this is the yoke for the Queen Anne neck shape, and this is the bodice, this is the cup, and this is the back side. So we are going to cut on the fabric and start joining it. It's as simple as that. So guys, after cutting on my fabric, I went ahead to cut the lining, and I equally attached my interfacing, fusible interfacing on the crepe material. So this is what we have, and then this is the 2 cups for the gathers, and yeah, this is the yoke for the front part. So guys, the first thing for me to do is to fold in my casing for my loop. So to do that, before folding, I'm going to come here. This is the center part. Remember this notch? This is the center part of the cups. So I'm going to come here and I'll measure 2 inches. The extra 2 inches I added for my folding allowance. Once I measure 2 inches, I'll cut that point. I'll cut that point like this, small. Okay, so I'll cut something like this. So what I'll do is to fold in that point. I'll fold in that point and stitch like this. Do you understand? Before I fold, because this is where my loop is going to come out from. Do you get? So guys, after folding the casing, This is what I have, and this is the center part. Yeah, this is it after folding that point. So this is where the loop is going to come out from. Do you understand? So I've equally run a loose stitch for my gathers. So what I'm going to do now is to gather this side. I'm going to gather it to size up this side. So this is the 2 cups here. So I'm going to remove the lining, and I'll go over to the machine to stitch this like this and like this. So please make sure that the gathered part, the gathered area, that the most gathered side is clustered along this side. Do you understand? So I'll just place it here like this and pin it. So can you see what I have? I left some allowance here to sew the lining. Do you understand? And this part will be left alone, will be on top after sewing it. Do you understand? Why this part will be inside? And this space here is what I'm going to, this allowance here is what I'm going to use to join to the yoke. Do you get? So I left a space here, a little space here. And here I left another space here for the lining. Why this will be like this after stitching. Do you understand? So I'll go over to the machine and stitch all around. So after that, after attaching the cups, I'm going to sew my loop. I have these pieces here for the loop. So let me measure it to be sure. Let me measure. What I have here is 23 inches for the loop. It's not fixed, just do as you want. And I have about 2 inches here. So I'll fold like this, and fold like this, and stitch on top. So I'm going to sew the loop as well as the cups. I'll do that and I'll be right back. So guys, after I'm done attaching the cups, I went ahead to insert the loop, and I held it at this side, and I left some sewing allowance for the yoke at this side. And then again at the center, I left some sewing allowance here to turn for the lining, okay? So, and I left another sewing allowance here for the other yoke. I hope you understand. So, and I did some gathers here like this, and this is what I have. The cup is looking so beautiful, as you can see. So it's time to use the lining to turn this side, the cup separation side, that is this center part. Then I'll just place my lining like so at the right side, and I'll stitch this side with that space I left. After that, I'm going to sew through this side like so. Can you see what I'm doing? I'll sew this part to cover up the rough edges. Do you understand? So after I'm done sewing this side, I'll do the same thing here, and I'll turn to the right side. Do you understand? So after that, I'm going to sew my yoke. For the yoke, I have 2 pieces here, one for lining and one for the actual fabric. So I'm going to place it right side to right side. I will sew this side, only this side, and turn to the right side. Do you get? Before I'll attach it here. So let me quickly sew the yoke and use the lining to turn this side, and I'll be right back for us to attach the yoke together. So guys, after I'm done sewing the lining, this is what I have. This is the wrong side. As you can see, I've used the lining to turn the rough edges here, and it's looking so neat. And then this is the right side, and this is the center. This is the cup separation. This is the loop here, so we can tie it. Okay, so guys, yeah, the next step is to now attach the yoke. I've equally sewn the yoke like I explained before. So to attach the yoke, I'm going to place it like this, and I'm going to use this lining to turn it in, as if you are turning a shoulder. Do you understand? So I'm going to place it like this, and I'm going to stitch here with that allowance I left. Do you understand? Okay, so I'll do the same thing to this other one. After sewing, it will look like this. So guys, after attaching the yoke, this is what I have. The next is to join the front and back together. So this is the back side. I've equally sewn the back side, and this is the zipper side. Do you understand? So I'm going to place it right side to right side, and I'm going to join the two shoulders. I'll join the two shoulders like this, and I'll also join the two sides with the sewing allowance I added. So after I'm done shaping the upper part, this is what I have. So the half length is done. The next step is to attach the down part of the gown. Okay, and to do that, I will simply do some small arithmetic. I'm going to minus my half length from the entire full length to get the down part. Do you understand? So for this gown, the length for me is 58. 58 minus 16, which is my half length, will give me 42. So the down part is going to be 42. That is the length of the down part, 42 inches. Do you understand? And the wideness for my gathers, I have 3 yards. I have the length 42, and for the wideness for my gathers, I have here 3 yards of African print. Whatever you have as your material, be it plain material or whatever you have, you can make use of it. Do you understand? So I'll go over to the machine, and I'll sew a loose stitch for my gathers. So guys, I'm through with the gathers, as you can see. So what I'll do now is I'm going to measure what I have here. So what I have here is 46 inches after I'm done doing my gathers. So I'm going to measure here where I'm going to attach the gathers, which is this side. I'm going to measure here to make sure that I have 46 inches. Or if it is small, I'm going to, loosen the gathers to be able to size this side. I hope you understand what I mean. So I'm going to measure gently. Can you see what I'm doing? So what I have is 47 inches, so it's almost the same. So while attaching it, I'm going to loosen it by 1 inch. Do you get? So the next step is to attach this to the half length. So how do I go about it? I'm going to place it like this, and I'll start from this side. I'll start from one side, and I'm going to follow this shape and fix the gathers. So I'll follow this shape like this. Can you see what I'm doing? I'll follow it like so and attach it until I'm done. Can you see? If you like, you can pin it down as well. So I'll just follow the shape I have here, which is the basque shape, and yeah. So this is it. So I'll go over to the machine now to attach the gathers, and I'll be right back. So guys, after attaching the gathers, this is what I have. So the next step is to go over to the machine and fold it like this and stitch from here down. So guys, after attaching the down part, this is what I have. So this is the front and this is the back side. I've equally attached the zipper at the back side. So the next step is to attach the sleeve. I have my design net fabric here. I'm going to cut a fitted sleeve and attach here. That is a basic sleeve. You can attach any type of sleeve you like. It must not be a basic sleeve, a basic long sleeve, okay? So I'm going to fold the net into two. I'll be cutting the two sleeves together. So I'll fold the sleeve like so into two, and I'm going to fold again so I can cut the two of them together. Do you understand? I'm going to take the length of the sleeve. For me, it's 22 plus 1 inch for allowance, which is 23. So on this line, I'll mark my armhole depth, which is 8 inches, and I'll come down from there by 4 inches. So I'm going to make a curve to meet the 4 inches like so. So this is 4 inches. And yeah, so then I'll add extra 1 inch for allowance. So this is what I have. So I'm going to measure like 3 inches, and I'll place my bicep measurement there. So mine is 13 divided by 2 is 6.5, and I'll measure 1 inch for allowance, and I'll connect like so. And here I'm going to add my measurement at the wrist like this. So what I have is 8 inches divided by 2 is 4 plus 1 inch for allowance. I'm going to connect so I'll cut it out. So after cutting, I'm going to trim the front side by ½ inch. So what I'll do is, this is the center part. Let me notch it and open up the sleeve so I can trim the front side by ½ inch. So I'll just come over here, measure ½ inch and trim. Can you see what I did? So I'll trim this part. So this side will be the front sleeve. Do you understand? So I'm going to go over to the machine to sew the sleeve with my 1-inch sewing allowance, then after which I will attach it to the gown. Okay, so guys, this is the final look of the gown. After I'm done fixing my sleeve, I went ahead to also fix my cover button. I have 16 pieces of the cover button here, and I use my needle and thread to attach it to the gown. And as you can see, the gown is looking so beautiful. Go ahead and try it out. Let me know your results in the comment section. And if you still have any question, leave it there. I will attend to it. And please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and share so that every other person can benefit from the video as well. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Till next time, I will see you again. For now, it is bye bye.